Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another important video in our SQL interview preparation series. Today we are going to discuss, eighth video in this topic, and let us get started without wasting much time. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So the first question is, sometimes we want to know how, to create a table and how to insert a data into that. So we are going to create a table called as employees. Okay, so we have uh, an existing table called as EMP, but just for understanding purpose, I'm just trying to create another table called as employees with a few columns like say ID, I want name, I want a department ID, I want. Okay. Uh, and then salary I want. So we'll create a table with this and let us see how we can do that. So first step is creating a table. Okay. So I'm trying to create table with all the concepts that we have learned till now. So like, having a primary key, having a data type and all of that. Okay. So I'm trying to create a table called as employees. Okay. And I'm just trying to add a bracket here so that I can give my columns. So my first column is ID and I want this column as integer type. So I'm giving int and this column is my primary key. So I'm just writing as primary key, comma. What is the next column that you want? My next column is name. Okay. Followed by what is the data type. I'm just trying to give varchar of 100 characters here. Okay. This is my second column. And the third column is department ID. Okay, and what is the data type I want? I want this to be integer type. Okay, so this is how I can give, and we also want to have a salary, so I'm just giving another column called as salary, and this should be decimal. Okay, of maybe I'll give two decimals. Okay, and I'm closing the bracket here. Now when I try to run this, okay, it will create a table called as employees. Now, when I go and run a command called as select star from employees, okay, we will get that table structure here. Okay, but there are no records, right? Now we want to insert the records, right? So first step, what we have created a table. Now we want to insert a record. How can we insert? Again, we have learned this insert into your table name. What is the table name? It is employees, right? I'm giving that. Okay, well, what are the columns? You can write the columns. ID, we have name, we have, okay, department, you know, department ID we have, and then we have salary. Okay, so four columns we have given, four columns here I'm taking, and values. I'm just following the data type of the fields or columns that we have given. Okay, so here it is allies, comma 101 is my department number, and salary whatever I want I can give. Maybe 50,000 I'll give. Close the bracket here. Okay, so if I run this record, okay, maybe department ID, I'll just copy this. Maybe there might be one row affected, which means there are one row got inserted into the table. Now when I run this, it should give us that record. Now you see we got one record in that particular table. So this is how we can create a table and we can insert a table into, sorry, insert a record into table. Now let us see updating employees based on their performance. I want to increase the salary. Maybe I want to give some hike to this, salary. How can we do that? So for that we need, what we need to have an update statement ready, right? So how can we do that? I want to update, maybe like say here I want to give 10% hike. Okay, so I want to give 10% hike to all these, all those employees belonging to department 10 something or department 101 here, because that is what we have given. How will we write update? Now your table name, what is the table name? Table name is employees. set salary, because salary we are going to increment, right? Set salary is equal to salary into 1.10. Okay, where department, so again I'm just trying to follow the same thing here. Department ID is equal to 101. So this will be our, so what is our original salary? 50,000 is our original salary. Now we are going to add 10% to that, which means 5,000 we are going to add. So when we do that, what should be the result? It should be 55,000. Let us see if that will work here. We have updated one row affected. Now again, if I go and execute my query, you see it is giving us 55,000. That is how you can, you know, write and update statement on on the table. Now same thing, like say next is adding a new column. Assume we want to add a new column uh, to an existing column. Okay, so we want to add a new column. So it is very simple. Okay, all we need to do is write an alter statement, alter table, table name. What is the table name? Employees, right? Okay, what do we want to add? Let us say we will add email address. We will add email. Okay, and give some data type, whatever the data type you want, and the size of that. Okay, and when I close this, commands are completed successfully, means it has added a column. Now if I try to run this, it will create, or it will add one column to this table. See, email it has added, but null currently because we didn't insert any record in that. Now suppose we want to add, adding we have seen, right? Now we want to remove a column. Okay, so we have created a table, we have inserted a table, we have updated a table. Now we have added a new column, and now we are trying to remove a column. Okay, so how can we remove a column here? Simple, whatever the column that we have added, email, that I'm trying to remove. Okay, so again, alter table, employees. Okay, drop column. What is the column name? Email is the column name, right? That we need to specify. Simple. Okay, so specify that. So once you do that, it will remove the column that is added. Now command run successfully. Now when again I run this, we don't have that email column. This is how we can add a column and drop a column from the table. Okay, so in real time we might have access to this, we might not have access to, this statements, but as a developer we should know how we can, do this. Suppose if you get an opportunity to be a part of a DB team where there will be access other than the standard select access, then you should be in a state to write all of this commands. Okay, so now we will see how we can rename a column. Okay, so I want to just change or update column name. Maybe we'll do uh, same alter command. Okay, alter table. Okay, employees, update, rename, we have to do that, rename. Okay, column, what is the column name? I'm taking name to emp name I'm trying to give, or we can give employee name. Okay, so now what this will do, this will update the column name from the employees table to employee name. Let us run this. Okay, so let us try alter instead of rename, and we'll see. Okay, cannot find a data type. Maybe we need data type also here. Where care of 100. So it depend, like syntax will be little different compared to the you know tools you are using, like you are using SQL Server or Oracle or something like that. Based on that, it will change. Okay, it should be working. So this is not working. Maybe some syntax error. So let us try something like this. I just taken the example from ChatGPT. Employees dot, what is the old column name? It is name, right? So we are updating this to employee name. And let us see if this works. Okay, now if I run this, you see employee name changed. Okay, so this is how you can write an alter statement. So ideally it will be something similar to your alter statements, but because of uh, limitations that we have in SQL, it is I mean this SQL server, that statement is not working. But instead of that, you can use this execute statement also. That should work for you. Next is changing a data type. Again, same. We can use something command like this: alter table. Okay, what is employees is the table. Okay, we want to modify. Okay, salary to integer data type. So we had a decimal data type, right? So now I'm trying to give decimal data type. So sorry, integer data type. So here if you see, we have decimals, two decimals. Now when I run this, if this accepts, again modify is not working, but if it works, then here zeros will be gone. Okay. So that's how we can modify a statement. Next is setting a default value to a column. Suppose we want to specify a default value. How can we do that? Okay, so we can write something like this: alter table employees. Okay, so alter the column salary, set default value to 0, which means whenever there are no records or you're not specifying anything to this specific column, it will set that as 0. Okay, now let us execute this. Hopefully this should get executed. Okay, okay. So again, this is a syntax error, but let us try to insert a record without the salary and see what it will give. Insert into employees. Okay, ID I'm giving. Okay, employee name I'm giving. Comma department ID, we will take it from above because we changed. Okay, so employee name also we changed. So I'm just copying this, pasting it here, and the department name is this. Department ID we have. Okay, I'm closing this. Values. I'm only giving three values. I'm not giving salary. Okay, we are giving two. Okay, Bob I'm giving, and the department is 102. Now when I run this again, another record will get inserted. Okay, now when I run the command, let us see what will be the value for employees. You see, it is null. But when we use a default value here, instead of null, it will be 0. That will be the difference. So whatever the default value that you want to specify, that value will come here in places where you have not given any value. Okay. So that is how we can add a default value. Next is, calculating a running total. Suppose in interview, if they are asking you a question, how will you, calculate a running total? Then write a syntax for that. How will you write? Okay, so it is simple. Okay, so in this case, what I'm doing is I'm just taking our standard EMP table just for reference purpose, so that what are the values. I'm just taking select, ename I'm taking, and salary I'm taking from EMP to show you the records that are available. When I execute this, so this is Smith and he got a particular salary. Right now we want to write or find out running total. So how can we do? Select again, ename comma sal comma sum of sal over o- order by salary as running total I'm giving from EMP table. So all you need to remember is to write this over, and this, I mean, this is syntax that you need to remember whenever he is asking you to find out a running total. So when I run this, it should give me three columns, you see. Now this two will get added. 800 plus 950 will give me 1750. Again 800 plus 950 plus 1100 will give me 2850. Again this plus 12 will give me 5300. So because the amount is same here, it is giving me same. Like this I can write. Suppose you want to find out how many employees are there with the same salary. Okay, so there are multiple ways, but how can we do? Like say simple, I'll give select, maybe sal I'll do. Okay, comma count of star as maybe EMP count from EMP. So now what this will do, it is trying to aggregate at a salary level. If there are any salaries which have same number, then it will give the count here. We'll first check here. Okay, maybe okay, sorry, group by salary I'm giving. Okay, now you see here for 1250 we got 2, and for 3000 we got 2, which means there are employees having, okay, count of star greater than, sorry, greater than 1. So now wherever there are multiple employees, with that it will give you the list. So these are two salaries that have more than one employee. So we can find out like that also. Okay, very tricky question here. Next question is our 100th question, handling null values. So earlier, maybe previously we discussed that we can use, is null, if null and all, but we can also use coalesce. Okay, so now see here, select employee name. Okay, so we again will take it from here, employee name. Okay, comma. What I'm doing is coalesce. Okay, coalesce is the function again that we can use. It is compatible in Snowflake and all. Okay, so let us see if it is compatible or not. So in coalesce, when you use, if there are any null values here, I'm trying to replace that with 0. Okay, as a salary I'm going. Okay, from EMP employees. Let us see if this works. Okay, so it executed. So if you remember earlier when we inserted record for Bob, we were getting null. You can pause the video and go back and check. But now because we have used this value at the runtime. So what this will do, this will check if this column is returning any null value or not. If it does, it will replace that with whatever the value you are specifying. I want to give it as 1. Okay, so it will give or replace that value with 1. See, okay, so this is how this coalesce function is very important in real time. Okay, so I think that's it from my side in this video. I hope you have learned something new. So total we have covered 100 questions in this series. If you need more, do comment in the comment section so that I can continue. And see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye and have a good day.